Wendy from Bra Garden. Great to see you all. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Great to be back again. It's been a little while since we've had a chance to do this. October.
Pink October.
Pink October. Breast cancer awareness. You know, you guys all know how much we're into this and how much we want to educate more. So we brought another fantastic expert, board certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Karen Leong. I want to introduce you to her and have her tell a little bit about herself.
Well, hi, everyone. Thank you, Wendy, for inviting me. It's kind of fun to be in a bra shop and be doing this production a little bit different. So I'm Dr. Karen Leong. As Wendy mentioned, I'm a board certified plastic surgeon. My primary location is in Newport Beach, California, and I have a secondary location. I'm just starting in Irvine, so trying to broaden our reach. I walked into Wendy's shop last year because I was looking for bras for an event that we're going to talk about that supports breast cancer reconstruction. So when she reached back out and said, October, would you like to come and speak to my audience? I said, absolutely, because the more we can educate and the more we can be out there and present and willing to help, I think the better. So let's see, a little bit about myself. What do you want to know?
Where did you go to school? What's your background?
Oh, okay. Let's see.
You don't have to start when you're born, but
seems like an awful long time ago.
Right?
My friend gave me a bottle of wine. It said 2003. He said, do you remember what you were doing in 03? And it's like, do I remember? I was 21. I graduated from college. And I thought about it. I said, oh, dang, that was 21 years ago. And whew,
it goes by fast. Too fast.
I still feel 21. Hope a little bit wiser. So, I grew up in the East Coast. I am a masshole. Didn't pick up the accent, thank goodness. Decided to get out of Dodge and come out west for undergrad. So went to UC Berkeley, go Bears, and then went back east for all of my medical training. Did my plastics in Rhode Island at Brown University, and then I met a guy from California, and he said, you got to come out here. So now we're out here, and we're going on, let's see, when did I move out here? In 2016.
Oh, nice.
And set up private practice. I do mostly cosmetic surgery and then breast reconstruction as a charitable contribution, which is a big part of my practice and a big part of my heart.
Absolutely. And so many people have spoken so highly of you and your involvement in an organization we're going to talk about in just a second. But first, so if people want to reach you and find out more about your practice, do you have a website they can go on?
Of course, you can't survive these days without all the media stuff. Okay, so my handle for all social media is at Dr. Karen Leong. YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, all those things that I am fumbling along with, but apparently works well. And then my website is same thing, www.drkarenleong.com. I am part of a dermatology practice. We do a lot of acne and medical aesthetics. So we try to be a one-stop shop. I'm the surgeon in-house. It's very female empowering. We love our men too. But come by and check us out. We're just down the road.
I was going to ask you actually, in the whole of our world, people that have been in the shop know, I've also been assisting in surgery for about 18 years, a little over that now, and love it. But it definitely is a different world than the everyday. But what is it like being a female plastic surgeon?
So our statistics have actually improved since I first started my training. When I first started, I think we were fewer than 10% of all the plastic surgeons out there were female. And now we're bumping up on 20%. We're at 18.3% at the last statistics this past year, which is pretty exciting. But looking at Orange County in particular, Hoag Hospital is in Newport, and there are 90 plus some of us on staff there, which is an insane number of plastic surgeons. But out of those in Orange County, we're still single digits for the females. I'd say really active females, probably about 5 or 6 of us, a couple of younger women coming on board. So we're trying to foster a spirit of congeniality. We're trying to support each other because I don't know if you know about stereotypes, but doctors really do fall into these categorical stereotypes. And, plastic surgeons, we kind of tend to have big egos, inflated sense of self. We don't play well with others. We're trying to change that culture. I think the newer generation, we do believe in working together. We do believe in a supportive culture. So that's really exciting. That being said, if you're a female plastic surgeon or someone who works in the OR with female plastics, let's start a support group because we need more of us.
I love it.
People like Wendy, awesome. I love my scrub techs and my nurses. It's hard to find good people who anticipate your needs. I mean, any surgeon across the board, when you're in the OR, this is your Zen space. This is where you just let go. You're yourself. You can do your thing. And then your team, your crew, they're closer than your family. You probably spend more time there than you do with your own family.
Right.
So when you can just be honest and share about yourself and then listen to great music and have someone who just passes you what you need before you even think about it because they know you so well. Yeah, that
makes for a great day.
It makes for an amazing day.
Yeah, it's great. No, I do see a difference. Sometimes I see majority females here in the shop, and I have many that ask that just feel more comfortable, with a female surgeon. It just, maybe more relatable, that kind of.
They have done studies, and there's been more of them coming out about how female surgeons, because we spend more time with our patients and we sit down and talk to you and listen, the bedside manner portion does matter. Our surgical outcomes tend to be better because you've fostered this trusting relationship where your patient feels like you care about them as a person and not just as a result. Yeah, but thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And I love to see that it is growing.
It is growing, and there are more and more women who choose to have female doctors, female surgeons, as it is. You come to realize that the way that men view and understand a female anatomy and body and kind of the way they see themselves is not exactly the same. We're really hard on ourselves. And sometimes you need to be able to air those insecurities with another woman who, for better or worse, feels the same way.
Right. I understand, right? That's so talking about, breast reconstruction. So I didn't realize until this year, I always knew October was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right?
Yes.
And of course, we promote that so much and trying to educate as many ladies as we can and men, right? So across the board.
Yes, because men can get breast cancer too.
Yes, absolutely. One thing that I found out this year, I never knew. So there actually is a Breast Reconstruction Awareness Day.
October 16th.
Yes. Bra Day. So on that day, we're asking everyone, wear pink. If you want to post it and tag Bra Garden HB or
tag me too.
Yes, absolutely. That really just showing the support, for breast reconstruction. And I would say the majority of the time, it's not something that necessarily was planned or that they wanted to go through. And these ladies need a lot of support and a lot of, and even it sounds silly, but just even wearing the color pink and just showing that you recognize, maybe the journey they're going through and, kind of the ups and downs and the struggles that they're going to have, just kind of showing your appreciation of, what they're going through. And like I said, just giving that support. So we encourage everyone, October 16th, wear pink. Like I said, if you want to post it and tag us, that'd be fantastic. But into breast reconstruction, you had mentioned a foundation that you work very closely with.
Yes.
And that would be, what is it called?
So the parent foundation is Mission Plasticos. It's been around for 25 years. We just celebrated our 25th anniversary about 2 weeks ago. But the program, the domestic program that focuses on breast reconstruction, and that is near and dear to my heart, is called Reshaping Lives. So what we do is we provide women who are breast cancer survivors. They've had their mastectomies or lumpectomies, and they've been left without reconstructed breasts. This might be because they don't have insurance, they are at the poverty level and can't afford reconstruction. They are insured but underinsured, where they can't find access to surgeons who are willing to take their insurance. As unfortunately, in this day and age, it is a struggle both from the provider standpoint and from the patient standpoint to get the care that's fair on both sides. So what we do is we give an option to these women to apply for a program, and if they qualify, then we can provide them with delayed breast reconstruction. Most of the time, that's implant-based reconstruction because they may have had their mastectomy years ago. They may have had other things that happened in that time, but we at least offer them the option to get their bodies back. And it's pretty transformative. We do it from the people who have fresh mastectomy, so ones who've had maybe a decade ago and just didn't have that option. And we even offer a nipple reconstruction day. I do it at my office for women who've had the breast reconstruction, but somehow never got to that finishing point where you get the nipple reconstructed and the 3D nipple tattooing for the color. And it's just pretty incredible when you see that final reveal and they see themselves as female, feminine, sexy, whole, and everyone's just kind of tearful, really joyful. It's a celebration and it's wonderful.
Yeah, no, that's great. So Mission Plasticos, if someone wanted to find out more information, I'm sure another website.
Yes,
That's
of course. So if you go to www.missionplasticos.org, there are links on how you can be involved, how people can apply if they are patients or interested for a family member or a friend, and then all of our different programs, including the Reshaping Lives that I talked about. So I started here in California in 2021. We launched nationally. So now we have regional pockets around the US where we've been able to treat patients, and we're always looking for more volunteers. Everything is donated, the OR time, the anesthesiologist, all the staff, the scrub techs, the nurses, the physicians. And then we have great partnerships with Tiger Aesthetics, who took over for Sientra breast implants, and they provide us with the tissue expanders and implants, and MTF Biologic, which makes the tissue for the mesh to support the implants. We also have Anna Ono, who makes bras. She was a breast cancer survivor herself, and she decided to start a company for women who've gone through this. And she provides all of our patients with post-recovery bras. Now, every step of the way, we have people who've been incredibly generous, but we're always looking for more. Plus, spread the word, because patients don't always know. And most of the patients that we have, they may have language barriers. They may not have access to the internet and know how to do this. So if you hear about us, you know somebody, or you know an organization that would be able to reach these people, please, please, please give out our information.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you were talking about the staff of our staff, if you are a nurse or a tech or anesthesiologist,
Yes.
so can they also find the information on the
Yes,
website, how
yes,
they can volunteer and how to, okay.
Yes, there's a form to volunteer, or you can always DM me or reach me and I can direct you where to go. If you're interested in international trips, we are an international charitable foundation that provides plastic surgery reconstruction around the world. If that's where your passion lies, still reach out. We're always looking for good people.
Absolutely. I mean, there's always people that need help, right?
Yes, and there are always people who want to help.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So many people who want to help. You just have to ask.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So any of you that are listening that would like to help, please go to the website, check out the information. Again, it was missionplasticos.org. Right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and breast reconstruction. So you had mentioned that, typically the type is involved putting in an implant, right, for the reconstruction to, again, gain symmetry on both sides and kind of more the look overall, right, and how you feel and but there are different types of breast reconstruction.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe the different types of
Sure.
flaps and
Yes. So there is implant-based reconstruction, and then there's autologous tissue reconstruction. When we're talking about what we do as a charity, because of limitations in terms of hospital overnight stays and such, we're sort of doing the implant-based reconstruction right now. We just don't have the resources. That would be a wonderful goal one day. We do have some microsurgeons who are interested. We just don't have the resources available to do that. So that's what we're doing for women who want reconstruction but don't want to use their own tissue, who want a little bit faster process. We're doing it with tissue expanders and implants. The other side, which has been gaining a lot of popularity and I think is a wonderful option, if you have the tissue and you're appropriate, is to use your own tissue, what we call free flap surgery or pedicle flap surgery, where we're removing tissue or muscle or fat from one area of your body and transferring it to the area where you are deficient to recreate what's been taken away. So in terms of breast reconstruction, you may have heard of something called a DIEP flap. It's the deep inferior epigastric artery flap, where we're taking the stomach. And ladies, I know when we have kids, we get this big pooch. Everyone wants a tummy tuck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either, but yeah, so it's almost like, hey, you get a free tummy tuck with your breast reconstruction. I'm not saying that you do, but it's trying to put a positive spin on things where instead of just having a donor site morbidity, you're actually gaining something from having this procedure. And what it does is it takes that tissue, it transfers it up into the breast area. We're actually working with microscopes. We're reconnecting blood vessels using the tiny sutures. And it's amazing. You may have heard of other areas that have been transplanted, but this was one of the first areas, and it's done very commonly. It's gotten to the point where patients are in the hospital maybe 2 days, and then they can go home. The recovery is fairly straightforward. It feels like breast tissue. It ages like breast tissue, and there's a lot fewer complications with down the road type things with autologous tissue. There are other areas you can take it from too, but that tends to be the most favorite area if you have that amount of tissue. You can do this in combination with implants too, for someone who's smaller and doesn't have that much and we have to recreate 2 breasts. We can always put the expander behind this in a protective tissue and give you something more. But those are the 2 flavors. You can do it with the implants or you can do it with your own tissue. And when you meet with your reconstructive surgeon, they will let you know what your options are. And I always tell people, if you're not quite sure if what you've heard is exactly what you were hoping to hear, go get more opinions, because we have different preferences, we have different training, we have different comfort levels, and we may or may not forge that relationship where you feel like we understand your needs and your wants and are able to achieve it. So always gets lots of opinions. Find that person that you feel really great about, because I gotta tell you, you're gonna be spending a lot of time with your reconstructive surgeon, the breast surgeon, the oncologist. They do their one thing and then they basically pass you on to us, and we will keep holding your hand all the way to the finish, and we'll keep seeing you year over year after that. It's very important. I think that's the most important part. The result, we can get you a result, but if you don't feel comfortable with your surgeon, go find someone else.
There's options.
There are lots of options.
Like you said, there are several surgeons in this area.
There are many.
We are very fortunate that you can, speak to several and do several different consultations.
Yes, one of the perks of living in an area like this.
Right, definitely. Now, something that I've seen over the years more and more is also fat grafting.
Yes.
So fat grafting, for some of you that aren't familiar with this, it's typically, you can explain it better than I do, but taking fat from one area of the body and essentially moving it to where you need it to be. So if you have an area that maybe has a dent or has that you want to smooth out, but now I'm seeing to some extent almost breast augmentation now with the fat grafting.
Yes.
So how much of the fat actually stays and takes and lives? Is there I don't know, kind of a percentage, or is there, what would you kind of expect?
Okay. So fat grafting has really gained in popularity. I actually think for my personal cosmetic practice, I do more breast lifts, and I do something called an autologous breast augmentation, where I'm taking your own droopy breast tissue and sliding it up to the chest wall and suturing it there like a implant, but it's made up of your own breast tissue. And then taking fat from other areas, who doesn't have some stubborn fat that you want lipoed, and using it. Everyone wants to donate their fat.
Yeah,
right?
All mine.
all day. You can take that fat and you can transfer it either for volumization or for contour correction, like Wendy mentioned. So a little bit of it depends on how much fat you have to donate. And you asked a question about percentage. So whenever we're putting fat in from one area to another, this is considered like a free graft, which means that we're relying on the body's ability to accept the tissue as its own. Even though it is your own, we're taking it from one place, we're kind of shoving it into another. It's more delicate than that, kind of.
Yes.
And then your body has to heal in a way where it's giving enough of that nutrient environment so that those fat cells graft into place and thrive. So whenever I'm looking at someone in Orange County, we get a lot of very athletic, trim, fit people, and they say, "Hey, I want augment, but I don't want to implant. What can you do?" And I'm looking at them like, "Whew, okay, this is gonna be work." But we can always find it. We can always find it. So if I look at a person and first of all, I'll tell them if this is a pure augmentation, I cannot guarantee more than 1 cup size increase from where you currently are. We can do fat transfer more than once, but then you have to stage it and there'll be multiple procedures. So you have to take into account the risks of anesthesia, recovery, and so on and so forth. But it is doable if you have enough to donate. So we talk about that 1 cup increase. Okay, you're a good candidate, your skin envelope's good. Where can I borrow it from? Most of the time, it's from the torso. It may be from the thighs, the arms, the chin, wherever we can get it. And that fat, the amount that I need to calculate, this is what I run through when I look at someone. I say, okay, we want a cup increase. That means I need to put between 400 and 500 milliliters, cc's of fat into each breast, because I know when I put it in there, 30 to 50% of the fat that I put in will be resorbed by the body, which means it's going to shrink by about 30 to 50% to get to that 1 cup size increase that I'm aiming for. Now, the breast tissue, you also can't overdo it, because if you push too much in, then you're going to get oil cysts, lumps and bumps, and terrible things that we don't even want to consider. Then we have to be reasonable. It's not conservative, but we have to respect the anatomy. For that 400 to 500, so say I need about 800 to 1,000 to get you that cup size increase, I actually have to collect double that amount. So I look at you and say, okay, I need a Coke liter bottle, like a big Coke bottle, 2 liter bottle full of fat, good fat, in order to have half of that to split between 2 breasts and half of that to shrink down to get your final result. You may say, I've got tons of fat, but when I do the calculations, I'm like, wow, getting tight. I'm going to be working pretty hard for that. But like I said, for most people, we can find it somewhere.
That's it, yeah. And I mean, I've seen the fat transferred all areas of the body. You see a lot in the face and all different areas, all different, but it's nice to know that that is an option.
It's a great option. And fat has growth factors. It has, well, we're saying stem cells. We're still learning more about it, but there's regenerative qualities about it. So it helps with scar tissue, with post-radiation skin to soften and just allow that to be reconstructed and feel more natural and healthy. So fat is amazing. It's yours. There's now a off-the-shelf injectable fat, also by MTF Biologic. It's called Renuva. And I started using that in my practice. So that's sort of a nice option too when we've gotten to the point where we say, okay, we need something. We've used all areas that we can. We're just trying to finesse, or we're trying to augment. We can use this stuff off the shelf. There are a couple hospitals and areas where they've been able to get it covered by insurance too. So that's always something in the back of my head when I'm seeing my patients towards the finish, or if I have a real tiny person and say, okay, at least now we have option 3. Which is great. I mean, that's the best thing. We have options. It used to be just lop them off and send the woman on her way, and the poor woman feels lopsided or deformed for her entire life. But now we can give her back her body, and it's sometimes better than what she started with.
It's great. And every once in a while, unfortunately, sometimes you mentioned radiation. Sometimes the tissue just doesn't have the strength to hold. And several of you ladies have been in the shop, and if the others don't know, that's the other side kind of the shop here. And so ladies that do need an external prosthetic, we have a lot, actually. Thank goodness it's changed a lot over the years, but of different forms and prosthetics and bras and different shapers that you can use to gain symmetry for those ladies that either don't want to go through the reconstruction, don't want to have an implant, or tried and maybe it didn't work and maybe it failed. And so that you have the other options. We have several different companies that we use here. Those of you that have been in the shop know how incredibly picky I am. So I use different companies for different products, I guess you would say. True Life, I have to say, is one of my biggest. They've really come a long way in their forms and their prosthetics. A lot of different options now, a lot of lighter options now. So anyone that's in need of that as well, you know, the pocketed bras, the prosthetics, we'd be happy to help. Myself, my other fitter are both mastectomy certified fitters. So we truly understand, you know, the process as well when that is, you know, another option possibly.
Right.
But yeah, and okay, so circling back, we're saying how we originally met.
Yes.
And here in the shop. And I had never heard of this before.
Because it was the first time we did it.
Like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? What is going on here? I was so excited to hear about it and be a part of it. And yeah, and definitely 2025, we'll do a lot more too together. I'm excited. But I want you to tell them what it was.
All right. So I walked into the shop because I was looking for a bra for a bra-centric, breast-centric fashion show to support this charity that I'm a part of. Is an idea that I got from a friend of mine. She's down in New Orleans, also a board-certified plastic surgeon, and she was throwing this event down there called the Florida Bra. She actually just had it this past weekend. It's her 4th year doing it.
Oh, wow.
And it was fabulous. I mean, it's New Orleans, so what's not fabulous, right? They just go over the top. But I looked at it and said, you know, this is a wonderful idea. Why don't we celebrate the breasts that we are serving? Why don't we bring together women who are survivors or who have played big roles in the reconstructive process or are support figures or just wonderful women who do amazing things in our community? Business owners, just leaders, givers. So that's what I did. I said, why don't I try to throw together this event? I think I started thinking about it in January and we threw it in May. So it really came together. It's called Cup Couture because it's an art bra soiree. And what I was doing was I was inviting artists from the area. It doesn't have to be from the area, but I was starting in the area. From all mediums. I had someone who was a body painter. I had someone who makes bejeweled custom clutches. They had a photographer, you know, just people who have a creative bent who wanted to create an artistic bra piece. And doesn't have to be a bra. I had someone who is an interior designer and she painted this denim Levi vest, which we just auctioned off at our gala because it was gorgeous and I wish I could have it for myself. And then I invited models, women that I've been involved with either through the charity, through my own practice, through the community that I thought would really bring forth the spirit of what I was trying to do. And the other thing was I really wanted it to be accessible to all people, regardless of their economic status. I wanted to be a welcoming environment for people who just wanted to say, hey, I want to give back, or I feel like there's a personal touch point with breast cancer, or I've had a family member friend, this is very meaningful to me, but I don't want to sit through a 4-hour gala and spend so much money and listen to boring speeches. I just wanted a fun afternoon event. I wanted women supporting women and men too. We had a lot of great men who came to support us, and then just have a great time. And that's what we did. We threw it in Santa Ana. A lot of our patients through the charity are Hispanic, so I wanted this to be somewhere that was comfortable and accessible for them. Everyone just chipped in. I started with zero budget, zero, and we came out $50,000 positive on the other end, and I sold out the show. I'm looking for a bigger venue this year. We just had a meeting. I think we're going to try it in LA this year. So I have a place up in Hollywood where we can fit about 300, 400 people. So I'm going to start the word now, May 17th, 2025. It's going to be a blast, I hope.
It will.
It's going to be
without a doubt
full of great people. But if you're interested in being a designer, if you have any sort of calling to participate, I had a DJ that came. I had someone who did the balloons, someone who works with silk flowers and did the decor. Everyone just contributed, and they contributed gladly. And that was the most amazing part of it as I was starting. I don't really like picking up the phone and cold calling people, but the response was amazing. They just said, oh, I can't believe you reached out. My XYZ went through this, or I'm going through this myself, or I feel called to give back, and this is a wonderful cause. And it's been astounding, really, just the response from it. And I'm really excited for next year. Wonderful people like Wendy So yeah, if you want to come, I would love to hear you come. If you want to be involved, again, DM me, reach out through my website. I have a text to number that we check all the time. So I'll give that to Wendy. We can put it on the
What
what
is
is this?
social media and all that.
Yeah.
Well, also they do. Is there an Instagram?
Yes,
For the
yes,
Cup
yes,
Couture?
we do. We have our own handle. It's Cup Couture _art bra. I'll send that to you so we can put that online too. But yes, we are kind of constantly just promoting to get excitement for next year. And tell your friends, spread the word. Everyone's welcome. All are welcome.
It was so fun this year, you guys. I didn't know what to expect. I'm going to be honest. When you said,
I had a
I'm
lot
going
of
to take
people
this
tell me
bra,
that.
we're going to turn it into the shaping of a dress. And I was very fascinated. What is
I
it?
really had to
And
work on my spiel. I
it-
wasn't there.
It was, but it was very intriguing. I wanted to know more.
Yeah.
And each model and each artist,
Mhm.
every dress and every piece that was put together was so different.
Yes,
and
so unique.
beautiful. And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, as everyone was walking through and the fashion show, and it was so much fun. I'll have to repost your dress.
Oh, yes, I'll
Yeah.
share some photos.
Yes. But your dress also had a theme behind it as well.
So my designer, his name is Roberto Roccanelli. He's from Montreal, but he now lives in San Juan Capistrano. He is French Canadian or French. He really wanted to build me something, and we worked together on it. He is an artist. He does corsets by hand.
Wow.
You know, he is a perfectionist. I've never had something that was built to my body like that. And it was gorgeous. Yeah, when I first approached him, he said, I don't know, a bra. I don't know." And then he got really excited about it. He started sharing all these ideas. He loves couture things and like picture after picture of picture. I said, Roberto, I don't know anything about this, but you build you. And he wanted to do kind of like a John Galliano type of deconstructed. You're the surgeon. We're kind of building you up layer by layer, and there's complexity to it, and yet the form is beautiful. I don't know. He had this whole thing, and they just.
But it was
It was
amazing.
gorgeous. It took about 2 hours to get into it. And my husband, who decided to go to Vegas instead of come to my event, I'm like, oh, you missed out. I'm sorry, dude.
That's one and done. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to
exactly.
put it back on again.
Exactly.
No, but it was stunning, and you
Oh,
looked
thank you.
amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, he is very talented. So if you're ever looking for a couture corset or a gown or just something gorgeous made just for you, look him up. House of Roccanelli. I'll send that to you too.
Yeah, please. That's wonderful. Yeah, so I mean, kind of wrapping up a little bit here, but again, breast cancer awareness is always a big topic, of course, year round, really.
Yeah.
October is great, and all the pink and everyone comes together. We had our bra garden team again at the Susan G. Komen Walk, and it was great. And thank you again for all the people that contributed and sponsored. You can see we had a lot this year.
We did.
And all the people that walked with us, all the people that donated, it's amazing. And this doesn't stop in October. And it's really every month. Ladies and gentlemen, you really need to be checking yourselves and taking care and knowing your body, right? And that's like I said, it doesn't end when October is over and the pink is gone. It's year round. And Reconstruction and all that. If you guys have more questions, definitely I would reach out, please, to Dr. Leong. She's this in and out thoroughly. You've been doing this for a long time, and fantastic surgeon. I see a lot of her patients that come in that look amazing, and they're so happy and they love you. I always hear praise like, yay. But no, and if they have any questions, again, why don't you tell them your information where they can find you again?
Yeah, sure. And then just one last little kick, since you're mentioning how you did the Susan G. Komen walk. For the month of October, even though, yes, it goes all year round, all day, every day. For my practice, I actually launched an orgasm cream. So it's like topical Viagra for women. It's a cream that you use a couple minutes before you want to have a little fun, whether it's by yourself or with a partner. But I think it's important to make this available to women who've gone through breast cancer who are on estrogen receptor inhibitors, because they don't have that same libido, they may be dry or unable to achieve pleasure. It's for women who haven't gone through the breast cancer journey too. But so it's a prescription strength medication. It gets shipped directly to your home. You can use it in the privacy of your own home or with whomever you wish. My husband loves it, just to put it out there. So the guys love it too. But I'm giving 10% of proceeds back to the charity for this month. My practice, my office as a whole, we generally do give a portion of what we bring in for the month of October back to deserving foundations so that we can serve more women and empower women. That being said, I forgot what you asked me.
How they can reach you? Yes.
Okay. So you can call, text us anytime. My coordinator is Heather. She's wonderful. Her mother went through a breast cancer journey herself. Our number is 949-409-8848. Or you can reach us via social media at Dr. Karen Leong. And my website is www.drkarenleong.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. And again, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I'm so happy you were able to
Yes,
make it
this was a lot of
happen.
fun.
Quick little thing for anyone that's been in the shop knows this already, but we're doing our annual, it's not a raffle, our annual opportunity drawing. All proceeds go to a local breast cancer patient here that was nominated from a local surgeon as well. We have a lot of local businesses. I can't even name them all. We have so many, but who donated items. We have these items. You can purchase the tickets all month long. They're $2 a ticket for your opportunity drawing. I said 100% of proceeds go directly to her. And so come in, tell your friends, tell your family, all month long. Let's get her as much help as she can. When she was diagnosed, her company that she works for had switched insurances. And so nothing has been covered. And her husband also at the same time was laid off. So when it rains, it storms.
Yes,
everybody pours, and so they just need some help.
So there's a foundation up in LA. It's called Her Too. So it was started by a woman. Her name is Lena Topet, and her mother was a survivor. But she started this foundation to raise funds for women who couldn't afford. So she may be a good person to introduce to that foundation. They may be able to support her.
Oh yeah,
on top of all the wonderful things that you guys are doing for her.
Great. I love it. Yeah, I'll definitely connect them for sure. Again, everyone, I want to thank you so much for taking the time and watching. If you missed it today, it will be on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything at Bra Garden HB, just like everything is. And another huge thank you, Dr. Karen Leong, for taking the time and coming out. You guys, surgeons are so busy. And for her to come and take this time and be with us, you should know it's pretty amazing. So we really appreciate you coming out and educating.
Well, thanks for the invitation. It means a lot.
It's great. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you need to get a hold of me, you can here at the shop. Our phone number here is 714-842-2414. You can go to brawgarden.com. You can reach me on social media at brawgardenhb, or you can email me. You guys know where I'm at. So looking forward to seeing everyone soon. Come in, get your opportunity drawing tickets, and everyone have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.